Realmuto'S Media.
How long are we going to have to do this for? You're demanding your offense to score double-digit runs to win a ball game? You were up 5-1. 5-1 after winning 3 straight series. And you pissed it down the drain! Matt Strahm, not good enough. Covey, definitely not good enough. Can we look for an alternative, please? I'm ready to say, hey, McGarry, what was that? 5 scoreless, 8 strikeouts. Can't be worse. Matt Strahm's hitting guys. Torrey's running out of their dugout, screaming at JT Realmuto. He looked like a joke. JT hits a cycle, but nobody cares because you lost the ball game. Here's the stat lines for your starters, okay? You want to be taken seriously? You want to think you have a shot? You don't have a shot when you fall behind super early, losing a bunch of games, and then throwing this out every 5 days. Matt Strahm, 2 2/3, 3 earned runs. Marte, 1 1/3, 2 earned runs. Covey, 1 1/3, 2 earned runs. Vasquez, 1 2/3, 2 earned runs. They stink! You can't win this way. Especially when Aaron Nola is an unknown. I hope Wheeler's ready to return, but I've seen him throw up a couple stinkers recently, unfortunately. I'm looking at you, Washington Nationals, pouring on runs against them. You don't have the luxury. I'm not telling you every team in this league has 5 deep starters. But because of where you put yourself, there's less wiggle room for me. You're 10 games over 500. I'd be like, look, they're 10 games over 500. They're doing something right. They got to figure it out. But they built enough room for us to play a more patient game. There's no patience for me right now with Dave Dombrowski. And Ruben Amaro Jr. brought this up during the post-game show, and it really is going to change the game moving forward because of the added wild card. Everyone believes they have a shot. And because everybody believes they have a shot, it is different around the trade deadline. There's only a few teams that recognize we are sellers. There's a ton that will convince themselves that we need to add. We're only a few games out. Let's put our foot on the gas and try. Very rarely are you sniffing a wild card spot and you go, let's blow it up. Screw it. Forget about it. Let's not even try. Let's just sell. I know it's early to talk about trade deadline discussions, but just put it in the back of your head because there's going to be a lot of teams looking for starting pitching at the deadline as they look for a postseason push, and even more so than ever before because more teams are playing in the fall. I'm aggravated. I'm annoyed. This was a ball game you should have won. You had a nice lead. JT Realmuto steps up. You fall down early. Doesn't matter. There's something about the resilience that this group has been showing. So I'm taking pride in the fact that they fall down 1-0, but JT with the solo bomb ties it up 1-1. JT helps you take the lead 2-1. Boom, gets on the board. He had a couple of hits and a couple RBI. Even Josh Harrison is producing offensively. So a nice inning. All for nothing. I have to basically wear my emotions on my sleeve for a Cody Clemens opportunity late for heroics with the bomb that goes foul, but we thought all was actually fair because Tom McCarthy and the first base umpire, really, I'm not blaming Tom McCarthy for calling it that way. He's trotting around the bases. They had to go back, and then the poor kid has to somehow settle back down regroup, walk back up to the plate, and try and do it all over again. Yeah, right. Speak about an adrenaline rush. I think I have caffeine rushes nonstop, and I drink 17 cups of coffee, bouncing off the walls every single damn day. When I wake up, there's no shot in hell you can settle down. I don't care any breathing exercises. I don't care yoga. I don't care what you think you're gonna do to redo it all over again. It ain't happening. There's no way we should have even been in that position to begin with. For real. They had chances late, 8th, 9th, but I'm not putting any blame on the offense. They scored 8 runs. They lost a baseball game scoring 8 runs. This was all about the pitching philosophy. Now, I know Rob Thompson had this laid out prior to the game starting. We have Strahm. We're going to Covey to try and grab some length. We have Vasquez. It's all mapped out prior, even with the batting order. Okay, if we get to this spot with Strahm, when can we maybe get Marte in the game? Is he warming up at any point? Right, there's a lot to this process with a game plan on how we're going to use our bullpen game. Like, it's already labeled all throughout. I wonder, though, and maybe I'm pushing it because I'm aggravated. And I probably am because I'm mad. They probably were never going to do this anyway. But just hear me out. When you yank Taijuan Walker out of a 5-inning effort where he was locked in and he looked great, you go to Gregory Soto. What if Walker could have got you 7? Serious question. What if he went 7? Is Gregory Soto, is Sir Anthony Dominguez, are other bullpen pieces available? Now, you would ask the question, does it matter? None of them would be utilized in the 4th. None of them would be utilized in the 5th. Fair, but then why can't we change our philosophy a tad? Because if I know this is the option, and I know these are the guys that you're looking at, can I make the argument, let's say you do get 3 out of Strahm. Or I guess he went 2 2/3. He wasn't able to get that final out. But let's just say, in a different world, he goes 3. Instead of going to Covey, can you go to Marte earlier, get you through 5? Can you go to Soto in the 6th? Can this set things up differently where 8 runs is enough? Because if you yank Covey's 1 1/3 and 2 earned runs out of there, that's enough to win the ball game. So I'm trying to remove one of the worst pitchers to ever put on the cleats and play Major League Baseball, yet somehow he is keep getting the baseball. Somehow he keeps getting handed the ball and walking on the diamond, on the mound. It's unacceptable. So, yes, even if it's just 1 1/3 and it's just removing one of those trash guys who took the field today, that's enough to win this game. And it's important to set the tone on a West Coast swing where you already know you stink on the road. It's important to start off with the W and good feels. Instead, you lose a crazy one and an emotional one. They just weren't set up for success. And that irritates me. It seems like you were kind of writing off the game before it begins. You know how some fans get aggravated with Doc Rivers after a loss? Because he says, well, I mean, if you look at the schedule, it was a schedule loss. And sometimes I agree with them. It's their 3rd game in 4 nights. It's a second half of a back-to-back. You're going from Chicago to Denver to this to that. You're moving all over the place. What do you want me to do? It pisses people off, though. This is way more hands-on. You have way more leverage here as the Phillies to not put yourself in the position. The Sixers can't change the schedule. They can't call the NBA and say this is unfair. This is all on the Phillies. And I'm looking at you, Dave Dombrowski. You're way too good of a baseball man. And I know they're saying, well, what do you want me to do? I can't trade for anybody because no one's selling at this point, and no one stepped up in your organization. And this is somewhat of a domino with Matt Klentak and Andy McPhail because they left this thing in the dust. We were all excited, and rightfully so, for Bryson Stott, for Alec Boehm, for Andrew Painter, even some Mick Abel. But since Stott and Boehm have been caught up, there's no love and juice for some prospects other than Andrew Painter. I hope he's moving in the right direction. Can we get some update, please? Can we get a little bit of something? Ranger Suarez started later than everyone else because he wasn't even able to throw in spring training, yet he already jumped and leaped over more than half of your starting rotation with consistency. Outside of a few starts when he first returned, this guy's become a masterful weapon again. His last 3 outings have been gross. Where's that? I need Painter to come in and give us some life. He doesn't have any experience in this league. I'm not asking for, a Cy Young right off the rip. But I can't be going with this nonsense. I'm sorry, it's unacceptable. You won't be who you want to be if this is what you have to pitch. I'm losing words here. I'm losing my train of thought because I'm so disgusted. But you won't be who you want to be if you have to pitch this nonsense every 5 days. And I said this 3 times of the rotation ago. Right? It's not like I needed this to see it. We've seen this way too much. It's the middle of June. We're almost sniffing July. We were looking through the schedules at some W's and L's, believe it or not. Yeah, we did Phillies, W's and L's. We're psychopaths, but I'm sorry, this is what this team is to us. We care that damn much. We're going W's and L through their last 25 games before hitting the All-Star break. I had them at 14-11, which would put them a couple games over 500. This was before the loss, although I gave them a split in Arizona in those 25 games, so that's still on the table. That's still in the cards, and that would put them at a couple games over 500, entering that post-All-Star break vibe. When is enough enough? Yeah, the bench is clear, the bullpen come out. The guys are trotting from the pen. What a disgrace that was, though, from Torrey. Why? Because Corbin got hit a few times? No one was trying to do that on purpose. Then you start screaming at JT. You're starting to yap at the players themselves? That's a joke. Rob didn't like that postgame. He goes, no, I didn't like that. I wouldn't do that to anybody else. I get it. One of your best dudes got hit a couple times. But there was no intent. This is what happens. Hey, look, we're not the only ones aggravated. We got guys on the other teams saying, yo, you can't be throwing this slop. You can't be putting out this trash. Our guys are getting smoked. Our best performers are getting hit in the forearm. They're getting hit here. They're getting hit there. You're ruining the game. Even the other teams say that. Look, they're not wrong. I feel the same way. What do you want me to do? Listen, it's a horrible way to start this. Guthrie, 0 for 3. Sosa, 0 for 3 at the bottom of your lineup. JT, 4 for 4. 3 RBI, 3 runs scored, a home run. Bohm, 2 for 5, 2 RBI. Harper, 1 for 5. I do love the 7th inning double by Harper, which scored Kyle Schwarber. That made it a 9-6 game. It was just cool in the moment. That's all I got for you. I was like, hey, they're keeping their foot on the gas. They got their top dog, setting the tone, staying in this. They're continuing the fight. They're not laying down and dying, which fine, all great and dandy. Win the baseball game. But I'm saying I like that from Bryce Harper, and it even cracks me up because he was on base 4 times against the Dodgers on Sunday afternoon. He went 2 for 2 and then had 2 walks. And one of our talking points, rightfully so, I'm just saying this is how amazing Bryce Harper is, that sometimes you go on base 4 times and then the day afterwards, we're like, we haven't seen much power in a while. I wonder what's going on with the elbow, the Tommy John. I would love to see it go over the fence here. I'm sure he's frustrated. You already saw him in the dugout not too long ago, take his helmet off and starting to throw it against the wall. He probably would have a home run if it wasn't for the wind at Citizens Bank Park not a few games ago. So, you could see that he's aggravated there, but this is coming off of a on-base 4-time day. Normally, you start to point out flaws when Alec Boehm goes 0 for 4, and I know he's just returning from an injury stint, But that's when you would maybe start nitpicking someone. That's where we're at with Bryce. There's no time to nitpick throughout a downtime. He just rolls, man. He's just constantly on fire. Whether he's got one elbow, whether there's a UCL tear, whether they already figured out how to put it all back together in his elbow. I don't know. All I know is this team drives me nuts. We asked for 10 runs to win it because you set your team up for failure prior to first pitch. That's real. That's how it went. Turner 0 for 4. I didn't know if Rob would keep the lefties split up as far as they are, with Schwarber hitting 1, Harper hitting 4th. He did it again. Keep in mind, they did throw Tommy Henry, who is a left-handed pitcher. He went 4 2/3, 5 earned runs, 9 hits. And you couldn't do a damn thing when you attack a starter like that. It hurts. It hurts. You know what else hurts before we get to the Anytime Hotline? The 9:40 starts. My God. I had a rough time. Now, I'm in a nice groove. I won't lie to anybody. I've been going to bed around midnight lately, waking up around 7 on the dot every single morning. I'm starting to get a routine. Before, I was a 2 a.m., a 3 a.m. guy. I'd sleep until about maybe 9:30. It would be a completely different way to approach my days. I like the rhythm I'm in. But it makes it very difficult when it's 9:40 and Cody Clemens is possibly, no, wait, he is, no, wait, he's not, nope, it wasn't a home run, yeah, it wasn't a home run, did they win, no, they didn't, did they take the lead, no, they didn't take the lead, makes it a lot harder to watch that at nearly 1 a.m. when I go to sleep normally around midnight. But anyway, okay, I'm looking for my Anytime Hotline folder. I switched over to my Mac. Long story. Actually, it's not very long at all, but I don't know if anybody even cares. A long time ago, before my wife got her new job, she has an office off of our kitchen. She goes, I really would like a Mac, a PC. I'm like, yeah. I surprised her for her birthday. It was her anniversary as well. I'm like, I'll get her a legitimate Mac, and she can set it up in there. Awesome. I do it. A month later, she gets a new job. They send her 3 computers, this and that, the speakers, 3 monitor. She doesn't even need it anymore. So it's been in my office off to the side for maybe 6-7 months. And I'm like, let's pop that puppy back open and start playing with some settings. So I have a fun new toy here that I'm pushing buttons on, and I can't find my Anytime Hotline folder. And, you know, we're going to go through the ups and downs together. You can call this part of the show my 5th spot in the rotation. So if it's clunky and if this makes no sense whatsoever, this part of the show is equivalent to having Dylan Covey pitch again. Can you believe it? Dylan Covey. I just want to put this in perspective. I swear I'll shut up and let you speak in just a second. But Dylan Covey, who's got a 7.71 ERA. I'm going to say that one more time. Who has a 7.71 ERA. Pitched May 23rd, which is my birthday, by the way. 5 innings, 1 earned run. That actually wasn't that bad. I remember that. Because we all anticipated it to be horrendous, and it wasn't. May 28th against the Atlanta Braves. 2/3 of an inning. 5 earned runs. 2/3 of an inning. 5 earned runs. 2 home runs allowed. Against the Washington Nationals on June 3rd, 2 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. We saw him pitch last night, 1 1/3, 2 earned runs. How the hell did he have 5 outings? This guy keeps getting the ball. Makes me sick. All right, let's do this. Let's run the phones.
Oh, God, Broads, my heart. You can't frickin' do that to me. You can't. You can't make that clutch homer and go and then take it away. Well, the Phillies played some good baseball save for their pitching today. So I guess this is a loss I can be kind of happy with.
No.
The bullpen kind of just screwed us over. They didn't really pick up on the Diamondbacks strategy and approach to play at all, and they got quite a few good hits and a couple home runs off of it. Way to go for Realmuto hitting the psycho though. I'm down for that. Way to break out of a slump. Let's keep that offense up and maybe see if we can get some pitching tomorrow.
Oh yeah, JT hit a cycle. That's right. I forgot. It's unfortunate that didn't lead the show, and then we speak about it for maybe, 30 minutes, because that's awesome and incredible and very difficult to do, and it's amazing, and it's mind-blowing, and it's unreal, and it's so damn tremendous. That's right, I forgot about it, because I can't accept the fact that this is the trash you threw in a bullpen game. I'm not saying you're wrong to try and take the positives away. I'm not telling anybody how to watch and consume their sports. I just feel the complete opposite. I'm with you that I'm recognizing how beautiful it is to score 8 runs. I'm not okay with losing a game where you score 8 runs, especially knowing the context of where they are. They struggled to start the season out of the gate. They won a few series in a row, including one against the LA Dodgers at home. You're going into Arizona, a very good opponent. You have a 5-1 run lead. And it poofs. It's gone. It makes it more aggravated because I feel this is a controllable. There's controllables and uncontrollables in sports. This is something that you should be able to put your hands on and make a change. So it doesn't make it easier for me to swallow this one. Instead, almost gets me angrier. Now, maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe that makes me the aggressive one. Some would say I am aggressive. I don't know. Maybe. Some would say I lose my cool. Some would say I put too much thought in the game-to-game basis. Enough is enough. You hear me? Enough is enough. What's next?
Yo, bros. I know me and you don't agree with a lot. You even called me so much as a fraud fan, especially for the 76ers. But in terms of the Phillies, at least tonight, congratulations to JT for the first cycle, especially from a catcher. That's really rare. But I don't see this as a heartbreaker. It's coming from somebody who played collegiately and coming from somebody who almost played professional ball other than my calf ripping out of my fucking, leg.
Oh, my.
I would take 0. I would lose every game against the Diamondbacks. I'm not playing, dog, at 10 o'clock at night in terms of my time over there. I'm not doing it. I don't care. I don't care. Come see me in the playoffs. That's it. There is a point to it. This is the problem with having 82 games?
60,
something like that?
162.
I'm not caring about going to the fucking West Coast. You just won against the Dodgers. I don't give a fuck about the Diamondbacks. I really don't. Not even a little bit. Fuck them.
Well, I'm sorry for calling you a fraudulent fan about the Sixers, but I don't even know what to do with that call. I just completely disagree here, too. They should care about the Diamondbacks. They scored 8 runs, so they clearly cared about winning this baseball game offensively. The organization didn't care about this game. It wasn't a player thing. The organizational approach was, we don't care about this baseball game. And you don't have a problem with that? You can sleep easily at night knowing that Dave, who's amazing at his job, is okay with letting this happen? Because I'm not. I get ticked off. Quite frankly, hearing that call started to get me aggravated. I just got to be honest. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you continue to call in. And I want you to continue. I want to work this out between me and you. I do. I want to work this out. I want to continue to speak. Because I can't accept what you just said. I see it the complete opposite. Sometimes I might 50% disagree. I see where you're coming from, but I don't even see where you're coming from. This was unacceptable. Unacceptable. But that's 2 calls. One was a little more extreme than the other, but that's 2 straight calls of fans going, who cares? I'm surprised by that. Normally, the ones that are this wild and this crazy hit the emotional strings differently. Is the organization selling some fans that, look, we can punt every 5 days? Why would you accept that? We could punt every 5 days. Why? Because Aaron Nola's lighting it up? Oh, wait, no. Because Taijuan Walker's consistent? Well, no. Because Zach Wheeler's back to pure form? Not really. Ranger Suarez, you got one guy. No luxury at the moment. There's no luxury. There's one legitimate, consistent arm at this time. So, I'm sorry. You can't punt. Anyway, we'll do this all over again. Appreciate your time. I'll talk to you on the next one.